we are live. It is Friday Night Live. We are now unfrozen, unglitching. We're back in this 3D dimension, kind of 4D dimension. And very, very fortunate to have Jan Johnson with us this week. And I was also very fortunate to have met Jan. And some of you that are going to join the chat got the opportunity to meet Jan when we did the Team Light conference in Bastrop, Texas.
Uh-oh, what's happening?
Oh, is someone barking?
Yeah, that's Dexter.
Oh, okay.
No, you're repeating.
Do I have an echo?
Yeah, a bad one.
Not for me, but for Shan. Okay. I will remove you and put you back on. Everyone just know that this is, typical.
No, it's you talking, Kimberly, what you said like 2 minutes ago. Your intro started again.
Okay, then it's not. Oh, Shannon's gone. So, Jan, if you have YouTube open, you're going to hear me. Do you think you have YouTube open on your laptop by chance?
You hear him?
So no, I don't hear it, but YouTube has a delay, and so you probably have a yeah. It's okay. I'll take you off the screen for a second while you figure it out. Just go to your laptop and click on the YouTube icon and pause us, and then you won't hear me repeating. No big deal. We're all here to learn. All right, Shannon.
Dexter, he will not be talking.
Oh, he's welcome to talk. Hi, Dexter. He's welcome to talk. It's no big deal.
Sure. He's been very whiny. People ate food. He did not get any of the people food. And he was not pleased. And then today Lola is wearing a fancy outfit. Say hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry about that. It was me. I didn't realize I had YouTube open.
Totally okay. I learned it the hard way in the beginning myself. So it's okay.
Such an amateur.
Hey, you know what? You just proved to us that we're live in addition to people in the chat.
And I'm like, Kimberly, you're echoing.
It's okay. No big deal. Okay. So Jan is in Austin, Texas. And Jan has, I included her description in the, the description part of the link here and on the Instagram post. But that you bring a lot to the table. You have a lot of experience in many different woo facets, and you're a really good public speaker with the kind of information that I love. I'll let you. Do you want to share? When you want to share some of your favorite things that you like to talk about? The topics, like you don't have to go into the topics themselves, but
I used to do public speaking with my last 2 jobs. It was healthcare, medical equipment stuff, and who knew that would be a career path for me. I'm a respiratory therapist, worked in the hospital for years. And anyway, I really like it. I like teaching. I like presenting. And then fast forward to a few years ago with the 2 eclipse events, I was telling a friend, learning about this Tartaria topic and the mud floods and that kind of thing. And I was talking to someone, a friend of mine, and telling her the story about when I was young down on 6th Street, a building that my dad bought. It was an old rundown building. Anyway, there was below ground, which we don't do basements in Texas. It's solid rock. And there was a lower level there, and it was full of mud. And he got it all cleaned out, and there was windows underground. Anyway, so I'm telling this story to Rochelle, and then she mentioned it to Rion. And next thing you know, I'm speaking on Tartaria at both of his eclipse events, and I love that topic.
Me too.
It's so fascinating. And I tell people, because some people it's a psyop. How can it be a psyop when you're looking at a building that convicts didn't build the Capitol in Austin. It's a massive building. And anyway, so my feeling on it is we're not necessarily saying that every place was Tartaria. I think of it more as a catch-all term. When you say Tartaria to somebody that knows about it, you're thinking of the cymatics and the cathedrals and the Antiquitech and stuff like that. So, I tell people, don't get hung up on whether or not Russia was Tartaria. How could Texas be Tartaria, or Kentucky, or wherever? It's more the topic of the narrative doesn't make any sense when they're telling us how these buildings were built. And I love that topic. And of course, sound and vibration. I did go to sound school in San Francisco about 10 years ago. And so that's probably one of my favorite topics, because having a medical background, and I always knew that, I never felt like I was doing bad things in the hospital, but I knew there's more than this. This can't be all there is. So I've always studied natural healing, even when I was, working in critical care hospital. But but the sound and it's finally catching on. When I told you that I'm talking about a little bit about some bone stuff I just recently learned, and bone loss in the face. And it's very interesting because I like reading the papers. I want to know, I like looking at that aspect of it. And a lot of the papers on it with the bone, with sound, I'm talking about increasing bone density and things, they're new. It's like, they're like a kid in a candy store acting like they just discovered something. I'm like, I could say a really bad word, but
you can. You're welcome to.
It. They got this little vibrating thing that you wear on your back, and it's $1,000. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And you have to have a prescription. It's the only FDA approved device. But yeah, I get kind of snarky with that attitude, with that whole narrative. You can't do it in sound.
Well, that immediately makes me think of the rooms in pyramids and temples that many people believe, and I do too, that they were healing rooms where they use sound to help heal people. So that would make perfect sense if it's bouncing off our bones or increasing density or healing from within. Like, that's so cool. Yeah.
It's just like the cathedrals, the Tartarian topic. I kind of had this knowingness, and many others have gotten the same thing. So when you start learning this, like those big round stained glass they're cymatic patterns. Mm-hmm. And so I do believe that before they took out the bells, they took out a lot of the stained glass. There's still stained glass in there, but some of the stained glass had, like, if it was purple glass, it was actually amethyst or citrine or quartz. But anyway, so you would go into this building, and of course it had sacred geometry, organs. Gee, wonder why they're called organs. So when they played these pipe organs, those frequencies were healing our organs. Mm-hmm. And you'd get the light, the sunlight coming in, and color. There's light therapy. A lot of people study that now. Yeah. The music. And then the people would come together in a connection type of way. And then the bells, of course, that would heal like the whole village. There's a lot about the bells. Have you looked into the bells?
I have.
Isn't that? I cried when I was doing research, and I first learned about what they did during the war, and you see the pictures, and there's a term, I can't think of it right now, but it's a German term for a bell graveyard. And they took all these huge, massive bells, and they took them, and they told the villagers that they needed the metal for the war. That's not why they took the bells out. They buried them and destroyed them because it increases the frequency of our whole realm when you have those bells go out ringing.
Wow.
And so, yeah, we want our bells back.
Yeah.
Bring back the bells.
I have doves. I have a lot of different birds, and my doves, I've noticed over the years, and pigeons will purposely place themselves in a location next to a wall or a small area so that they can amplify their crooning.
Mhm.
And I always thought that was interesting, and a little, in a funny way, like narcissistic, that they just love to hear themselves. But I know that the vibration and frequency that they're sharing is actually really beneficial, I think, to
Yes,
themselves and to each other. And so, like, animals already naturally know this stuff, like
they do.
they'll turn and make their calls in a certain way so that to amplify it for the others. Um,
Well,
no,
your voice is the most powerful. They taught us this in sound healing school, and I cannot carry a tune, and so they were making us do toning, and I was so self-conscious about it, and I got over it. But they really emphasized that the most powerful sound instrument there is the human voice.
yeah.
So even when you're speaking to someone, you know about light language, but you can be healing someone. You don't necessarily have to sing or tone, but
Hmm.
it's really fascinating. And your birds, they are, well, they could be narcissistic, but
Some of them are, yeah.
that's a real thing. They're either healing themselves because humming, all these things you do with your voice,
Hmm.
we actually can do that for ourselves and for others. Like, it's
Hmm.
just this innate thing. I don't have children, but a mother will hum
Hmm.
or sing to her child, like when they're not feeling well, or the humming and they feel the vibration on your chest.
Hmm.
There's a lot to it. The
I
other thing
think,
about the bells, I had heard, cows would wear a bell. Now, I don't know. I had always heard that's to keep coyotes or whatever away. But supposedly another reason they took the bells out is, what are we calling them? Da-da-das?
uh,
Non-beneficial energies.
oh,
They
okay.
don't like those frequencies.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So so the bells hold a higher frequency and
Yeah,
vibration,
and they
and
don't
that
like it. Now, I don't know. I'm just
that makes sense.
repeating something that I heard, but
Yeah.
that would make sense because I know there's certain tuning forks that you can use instead of sage, because
Hmm.
some people don't do well with the
Yeah.
smoke. And I have some, they're angel tuners, and they're a real high frequency.
Huh.
And
Okay.
so and I like them, but some people, they'll be like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And so I call them just sonic sage. And that supposedly, I don't, my third eye's not open, but so I don't see them all scurrying away. But I've heard stories about they don't like that.
Hmm.
They don't
Hey.
like that sound. Yeah, people who can tap into them or whatever. So
Yeah, but you would be aware if there was if you felt a negative energy or something was off, and
yeah,
you chose to use those tuning forks, and then you felt a sense of peace,
yeah,
you
it just
would.
feels better. The room feels better. Well,
Yeah.
that instrument, and I'm gonna forget how you say it. They look like two little cymbals, brass, and they're on like a string, and they kind of king
Hmm.
together. It starts with a T. I can't pronounce it. Somebody probably. They're just little ding.
Yeah.
Well, I believe that's Chinese.
Hmm.
I'm probably not saying that right, but anyway, that's a very common sound that people will do, just to, it clears the energy in a room just with this. Yeah. Yeah.
I took a course on Buddhism mindfulness, and the gentleman that was with us as the teaching assistant would do that instrument at the start of every class and before and after we meditated. And
Was it
it
with the
was
little
to,
things?
yep, it was the little things, and it
And
was
they
to
sound
clear.
real nice. I mean, I really like
Yeah.
them. Well,
They're
also
symbols.
clapping is supposedly, the origination of clapping was to clear negative energy. And supposedly fireworks in China, that was the origination of that, clearing. Can't make
Wow.
this stuff
Interesting.
up.
Yeah.
They don't like sudden noises, I guess. But the
Well,
bells, I mean, that's very upsetting that,
Yeah.
and there is some companies that I've researched weird stuff, but there's a registry. They are trying to bring back the bells, and there are a couple of companies. Of course, they're in Europe. There was one in the U.S. I don't know if they're still around, but there's interest. This whole thing, Tartaria, the bells. When you talk to people about it, and they're like, "Yeah, what the heck? All these spires, is that what it's called? The church
Yes.
with no bell in it." And I grew up in Austin, and we had bells. A lot of the churches had bells, and they'd ring them on Sundays, and a lot of them would ring them at noon every day or whatever, and they just stopped, and it was very comforting. I remember as a little girl when you would hear the bells, it was just, it was, well, I don't know what other word to use. It was comforting. Boy, we could use that now, I think. Bring back the bells.
I wonder how I wonder how the Liberty Bell got kept.
Well, there's no doubt intuitively. I'm like, yeah, it didn't get cracked by accident. They probably did that so it wouldn't sound right.
Yeah, that's true.
If you think
and then it
about
was kept historically kept so that as like something that you can visit, but yeah, it's non-functional.
It's got a big old crack in it.
Huh.
And that. They cut that bell to some ring.
Think about it, how in many books, stories, movies, that people end up going up to the bell tower and something bad happens. It's almost like it was like a programming to make people fear that.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Hunchback, and wasn't that the Hunchback
of Notre Dame?
Bob was to ring the bells. Yeah.
We have a big bell at the Episcopal Church here in Bernie, and every Sunday after Mass, after services, they allow children to ring the bell, and it's a big bell. Yeah, they do every Sunday, and it's really nice. You can hear it if you're down Main Street, like you can hear the bell.
But every village, I mean, U.S., I mean, think of Europe, all of Europe, probably Russia, no matter how little the village was, they generally had a church, and it had a bell in it. And thousands of them, thousands of bells.
Well, yeah, because not everybody had a watch too. So that was the way. Huh.
Yeah.
And then bells, that would signify different things too. Like if I'm sure that would be like a call to gather, or different
school, church.
Yeah.
Y'all seen those they're called water bells, or they might be water wheels, but it goes in the category of a bell. And I'd never heard of them before. I'm like, oh my God, I would love to see more of that. So they're more of they go like this, another, and it makes a tone, and it's putting the frequencies in the water. And so then the water goes downstream. Yeah. So all the water then is high vibrational and structured, and they had all that. And they, we're modern now, so we don't want that. Yeah, we do.
Well, I mean, look at the change of the scale used in music. Like, that's one of the rabbit holes that, I think most everybody has heard a little bit about.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating that they literally change the scale to a frequency shift that is unsettling, like intentionally unsettling.
Yeah. That's a whole big rabbit hole.
It is.
I first learned about that in sound healing school. It's the 432, 440. And right now I can't remember when it was done, but it's kind of like if you know that these people listening to these, they're going into these cathedrals. I think they were med beds. Mm-hmm. I think of it like a big med bed. So you were getting the music, you were getting the connection with other people, light. It was just all of it. And so what are we going to do to mess that up? We can't have that. I'm sounding like a conspiracy theorist, aren't I? Well, but this is true. This
We
is
call it
very well
reality here.
documented.
It's not a
And
conspiracy.
so
It's just reality.
we're going to change the tuning of the music. We're going to, some of the stained glass was changed. We're going to, kick all the female out, and it's going to be a patriarchal, religious, dogmatic. Yeah. But let me say this about this 432, 440, because some people really get freaked out about it when they learn about it, and they want to throw out all their music and are very worried about it. There are some really well-known people in the sound, not industry, like I'm trying to think of his name. He does the cymoscope. John Stewart Reed, is that him? Anyway, for me, I have an app on my phone. It's called Cymoscope. It's a really cool app. So you could sing a note or do it a piano note, and it makes a cymatic pattern, right? So we've learned from Emoto that throws the water and I hate you, I love you, and then would see this cymatic pattern of the sounds that in general, if it's a high vibration sound, the cymatic pattern looks pretty or symmetrical, looks pleasing to the eye. And then they did the I hate you or whatever, and it would look not symmetrical and it just didn't look quite right. Well, sometimes when you have a piano or a guitar tuned, 440 is the A note. So when you're tuning your guitar, instead of tuning your A to 432, it was tuned to 440. Well, and you're playing the guitar and it's tuned to 440. Some of the cymatic notes, they look fine. And so I think sometimes things get out and it creates like, oh no. Yeah. I'm not kidding. I've met people that were really upset that were musicians, and they were freaking out that they needed to go change all their instruments, and people throwing out all their albums and CD collections. I'm like, don't do that. I mean, if you have some 1980s CD that you love listening to, and it's tuned to 440, who cares? I mean, if it makes you feel good. So it's not, it was probably done for nefarious reasons, but it got a little blown out of proportion. Is that making sense?
It does.
It's not like it's bad or going to harm you if you listen to 440 tuned music, because we've been doing it for decades. And
it's just such an odd way. Like, when people talk about conspiracy theories, there are so many like obvious ones, that people bring up all the time. But then when you hear about things like this, or I saw this random post, I don't know, I didn't do any research on this, but it said that boxes of ticks are starting to be found on farms all over the United States. I stopped and thought about it, and I was like, there are such random, minuscule ways to completely take us down. Not the big things that everybody worries about, but the little things. But like just somebody screwing with the music scales. Like,
well, the thing about it is, it didn't work. It's all about intention, anyway. So I talk about this, like that whole good morning, grand rising thing. Okay, I get it. Words cast spells and understand. But it's so hard for me. I felt really phony saying grand rising.
I can't say understand. It just doesn't come out. Like, I don't remember.
So I'm like,
I don't remember to say it.
I'm happy to know that, but I'm taking it back. It's just like, certain symbols get. Yeah. No, it's all about your intention. And I tell the story about my dog. I mean, it's your tone of voice. I could tell him, you're a doo-doo head or whatever, but
he'll be like,
if your intention is this loving tone, the words don't matter. And so I think that's why the 440 thing didn't work like maybe how they hoped, because we're like the Who's in Whoville. We don't care that you stole all our presents. We're going to be happy anyway. And we're going to be happy listening to our music. And it's all about intention. So
Right.
it didn't work.
Yeah.
Nice try.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, and in intention, and also where you hold yourself accountable. You know, if you're awake, which everyone in here is, and on the chat, you are going to run everything through discernment before you agree to it. And maybe if you're not informed about it, if something comes into your life or whatever, and it doesn't feel right, we now are really tuned to like red flags. So as soon as the bullshit starts, we're going to do some research as to why can't I be in the room with the sound, or why can't I be around this person, or
Yeah.
why does everybody seem to think this person that just came into the scene, I don't know who it would be, like a content creator. There's a lot of these for me where I'll look and I'll see that these people have, almost 1 million followers, and I'm like, where's this coming from? And it's because of the follower mentality, but everybody that's listening and following and just taking what they have to say and not doing any of their own research, those are people that are just still asleep. And so it's up to us, with discernment, and we signed up for this. We're here
Well, they
to
may not really have that many followers. Apparently, you can
yeah, you can pay for
fake
them.
those numbers,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
true.
it gets people to
Yeah.
look at you more because you have so many followers. It's like, it's just weird.
Yeah. I on a regular basis, like, I don't think too much. I never really think about it for my own stuff, but
Yeah.
if I see a post and it'll have, 60,000 views, and it was posted a few hours ago, and I'm thinking like, who are the people watching this stuff? But there's energy attracts energy, like, and people
Yeah.
mirror each other, and like attracts like, and so I would rather have a small
Yeah.
group and a
Well,
smaller
you're getting
channel.
the divine spark, the God spark
Mhm.
beings to watch. There's apparently, I'm no expert on this at all, but this is what I've heard. There's like bots and stuff. And so those aren't really even
Yeah.
human people that are
Yep.
watching those. It's fake. And it
Okay,
doesn't
good.
matter. Even if you got one, it's it's getting to the people that are the organics. And that's all we need to do. And it
Mhm.
might not have the big numbers, but it's still going to get us there.
It's authentic. Like, what's the point
Mhm.
in doing this and sharing your truth, and, offering yourself in service, and working through your own bullshit so that you can help others? What's the point if you're not going to attract people that can truly benefit from it? And
Right.
then once they're cleared, they can share their light. It only takes one match, to light 100 candles if you just
Yeah.
keep going down the line. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm good with this.
And
I'm happy.
unfortunately, there's a group out there, and I get it. People are just want to numb out and they want to look at this weird, I can't even
Yeah,
believe it. It popped up on my YouTube. You know how if you, God forbid, you click on something
yeah,
and
accidentally.
then you're going to just, y'all know how that goes. So I'll sometimes look at it, but I won't click on it because I know, well, I was telling a friend about, this is just a couple of days ago. This is how I know there's AI or whatever listening to us. I brought this up literally like 2 days ago talking about that. I go, whatever you do, don't click on whatever we were talking about. I can't remember, because
Right.
then you're just going to get bombarded with it. Like, don't click on a Kardashian video because then they're going to
Yeah.
think you want to know about the Kardashians. Well, I mentioned to her, I unfortunately clicked on this video. I was tired and wanted to I was doom scrolling, I guess. And it was a woman, and she had like 2 million views on a new way to use an eyelash curler. And I clicked on it. I didn't know. This was like a year ago, maybe. I clicked on it, and all she was doing was using the eyelash curler upside down, and she had 2 million views. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Okay, I kid you not. So I was just telling Jessica about this a couple of days ago. Yesterday, I opened YouTube, and there she is again It's
showing
the
you.
same woman, and I didn't click on it. 11 million views.
Yeah. And it, yeah.
What?
So it's so interesting. Well, at least everyone knows how to curl
There's
their
no way
eyelashes.
11 million people have. I I
Yeah,
don't think that that's real.
that's true. That's true.
But
That's funny.
you'll, it's just, I really do feel that way because I did go through a time period where I was like, um, with the Lone Star Angelics group that I have here. Because at one time,
Tell us about that. Yeah, please.
well, I don't want to name this other group, but I was having gatherings with this group, and they were, 70 people or 40 people or whatever. Well, then sometimes we have 20 people, sometimes we have 10. We had 40 once when I gave my Tartaria presentation. But I was thinking about how many people there are. And, I don't think that anymore. It doesn't matter what it's quality,
Mhm.
quantity. And
Right.
just stick to the, I've been learning that a lot. You listen to Greg Braden. I went to 2 of his conferences, the one in Arizona, and he was in Austin recently.
Mhm.
And how many times Barbara Hudak talks about heart math, heart
Yeah.
brain coherence? How many times has that been presented to me? And I know about it, but do I do it every day or twice a week? No, I hadn't been. Well, it finally got through this thick head, life changing. It's so simple to do. And so it just made me shift with all that, Kimberly. I'm like, just even if it's one person, it's
Mhm.
just so important that we help each other. I don't know if it was in Gnosticism or what I read recently about. It's the belief that, and I'm not saying I'm there yet, it's a work in progress, but it said in these teachings that once you have the understanding, it's our responsibility to share it with others and like hold your hand out. Like, what do you need? And let's talk about this. I just think it's so important. And I do think that's probably one of the big reasons they did the thing. I don't even want to say its name, 5 in 2020.
Yeah.
That
I don't think it matters on this
thing.
channel, but yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like the Harry Potter, he who shall not, don't say the, I don't know why I do that. I don't even want to acknowledge it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
The
when we
crud.
come together, the power of being around other like-minded, like-hearted people. And so many people that are on this journey, light worker, starseed, whatever we are, don't always have somebody in their life.
Mhm.
When they wake up or whatever you want to call it,
Right.
you can feel kind of alone, and you can feel
Mhm.
like I'm the only one. Whatever happened to me in 2015, I literally was the only person in my friend circle and family that there was nobody.
I
And
don't
so
have
I started
anybody
going to
here. Yeah.
seminars, and Rion was one of the first that I found. I started
Mhm.
going to his
Yeah.
conferences in Sedona, and eventually I did find a group that lives local. But
Mhm.
it's so important to have that opportunity, and that's really what I'm all about. I've done enough things that I absolutely could have a energy healing practice here, but I don't. That's not what motivates me. I'm motivated to talk to people and bring people together and have gatherings. And yeah, so at my house, I used to do a lot of lake stuff and boats and stuff. And so there was a detached, I call it the RV garage. I had an RV. Well, then I'm not really doing any of that anymore. So the building was just sitting there. And I'm just like, I learned that it's not that easy to have gatherings of, more than 4 people. So yeah, maybe you can go to a restaurant where they have a private dining room, but a lot of them don't let you do that anymore. They want to charge you extra. So if you want to have like 20 people get together and in a restaurant, it's noisy. And
Mhm.
right when you're getting to the good part, the waiter will ask you if you want something. So I was like, I want to turn that into a gathering space because I,
Yeah.
I was shocked to learn a challenge to find a place to go where you can, meet with people and have a conversation for 2 or 3 hours. It's not that easy. And
Well, and
so,
feel welcomed and relaxed, and yeah, no, you're
yes,
right. You're right.
yeah. And you don't have to pay a fee. And so during that 2020 thing, when we were doing it, a lot of the restaurants were hurting. And so they'd want to charge you on top of everybody ordering a meal. They wanted to charge you several $100s. So anyway, I turned my RV garage into the Up Hub. And so we meet there at third Sunday of every month. So if anybody in the chat is in the Austin, Central Texas area, you need to come. We have some amazing conversations. And it's a safe space, judgment free. We talk about whatever. And, I tell people, if somebody says something that you don't agree with, I have a little invisible bucket, and I call it my bucket of neutrality. So somebody might say something that's really out there, and I just I'm not going to go, oh, that's not true, because you know what? In a few years, you're probably going to find out it is true.
This is true. Yeah, you're right.
Or a
You're
few
right.
months.
Yeah, I always think, you know what? I may not agree, but I believe that you believe it, and that's okay.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, we don't know.
I can tell you who I voted for in whatever decade, and oh my God, it's the
Yeah.
things we know now, I didn't know. And so, did I ever think I would watch any content online about what the shape of Earth is? Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
The flat Earth or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
well, it might be. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's small groups happening all over the place that are going to
Yeah.
change the world for sure.
Yes.
Where you can feel welcome and relaxed and laugh and heal and hear other people's stories and realize that you're not alone. I mean, that's the whole reason we started this chat, is so that everybody could have a place to learn from other cool people, become friends in the chat, talk about, bring up anything, really, anything.
Yeah.
As long as it's not negative or hateful, but that hasn't happened yet. And so this is essentially what you're doing in a
it's an
gathering.
amazing thing.
Yeah.
I love it. And I've thought about also doing something online, and I just haven't, like in addition to in person, because not everybody can drive. And sometimes it's a challenge. Those of you that have driven around Austin, oh my God.
You could put on, you could easily just, if you felt like it, you could put your laptop in there with a webcam and then just have a Zoom link that people that, as long as you give them the link, they can join, just to listen.
I probably wouldn't, because the way we do it is, I mean, I don't know if the group would want to do that. Like some of them we could, but we get going on some conversations, and everybody feels pretty safe to talk about whatever. So I don't know if they would go for that, but it's been scientifically proven, Dr. Bruce Lipton and these people, how important it is to be in person or just connecting. This is good too. The endorphins that we're getting from connecting, and it's still good. I'm not trying to minimize.
No.
It's fantastic.
It's amazing that you've gathered people in your area, because I'm in San Diego with millions of people. Yeah. And since I've been awake for years, and throughout my lifetime, I've met other people that were into auras or crystals or whatever, but I don't know anyone, nor do I see anything advertised. But
it's a challenge. I mean, I was scouring through Eventbrite and Meetup, and there's some places in Austin, and I was going to the metaphysical fairs, and it's a challenge. But what I've learned with the heart-brain coherence thing, and it's sometimes we got to get out of our own way, because I can tend to be very left brain. That's the medical, my science, whatever. And it's figuring out, I got to figure out how to make this happen. Well, sometimes you got to just stop and then get yourself in your coherence and ask your heart, what do I need to know about this? Tell me, bring in the clarity. And then, oh, I never thought about that. Or you just let it be and you just put the energy out there. And then next thing you know, you're at HEB in the grocery store line and you meet the person that this has been a real interesting journey, especially lately. I've up leveled to another degree of releasing, trying to figure things out. Because we think that it's not going to happen if we don't make it happen. And actually it's the opposite. And that's been a tough one for me. How about you guys?
That is the worst. I mean, just the notion. I was having this conversation just yesterday that you go thinking that like you have to do to make things happen. And it's very hard. And I'm not there yet. It is very hard to unlearn that.
Yes.
And I will say it's very interesting. And, you know, Sean's in the chat. Other people usually join us or in the chat. I've been very fortunate in that I work with a group of people and have for, a long time, like 15 years. Nikki, who's usually in our chat, for 26 years. I've worked with a lot of people who are also awake. And so it's interesting because like you're doing your mundane world of work, but then you've met these really great people that are amazing. And, you know, we're all kind of like, oh, wait a minute. Do you do this? Do you do that? I remember being in a car with a coworker and who is a dear friend. And I was like, hey, did you know you have the spiritual gift of discernment? And she was like, how do you know? And how did you know? And I was like, oh, I just know things like that. We're just like, you know, driving along. But it's so interesting that, you know, I feel like we collect each other. You meet someone and then someone introduces you. Like I met Kimberly through my sister-in-law, Miranda. She's like, I really think you would like Kimberly. And then, you know, I'm like, oh, you have to meet Kimberly. And so I feel like we do a good job. Once we get to know someone, we all network well together.
Yes.
Yeah.
And grow together and share things. That's what I think is so important, because a lot of us have things that are going on in our lives. And I know I'm really guilty of this. I think I'm the only one this is happening to. And then when you talk to the other people, you're like, oh yeah, I slept terrible last night too. And it's the whatever. And so it's just so nice to share these things. And, you know, this heart brain coherence, the heart math, I would really encourage everybody listening, if you're not already doing it, I cannot tell you. And I do a lot of things. I have my tuning forks so a lot of this has to do with our nervous systems and our poor nervous systems. I don't know about you guys, but this seems to be a common theme with people like us. Did we choose it? Maybe, maybe not. But our family of origin, it was a little tumultuous, let's just say. And it's like Dr. Lipton talks about, you're walking around from pre-birth to 7 and your hard drive is being programmed. You're just like a sponge. And so you might be 1 year old and your parents are fighting in the other room. It has nothing to do with you, but all that's going into the hard drive, right? So a lot of these things, and then that affects how we see the world. And boy, I had it bad. But I just adapted. I just, you know, and I had no idea until I got a little older. I started having panic attacks and anxiety. I'm like, I'm not stressed. Yeah, you were. You're just so used to it. It was my normal. And so our brain waves are stuck in beta. We can't relax. And it's really now compared to like in the 80s or 90s when I was having that, I don't know how people are functioning. It's nonstop bombardment. And I think they're pumping out some frequencies too that don't help. People's phones and Wi-Fi and all this. If we could see everything in the air with the frequencies, it would freak us out. And so our nervous systems are just under assault. So I've really been working on this for myself, and I'm telling you, I've turned the corner. I'm sticking with certain things. It doesn't take a lot of time. So the heart math, the heart brain coherence, and the way Greg Braden was teaching it in Arizona, and you can do it however you want, but basically all you're doing is you're just breathing slowly, and all you got to do is your exhale needs to be longer than your inhale. And when you do that, you don't have to count 7, 4. But I mean, there's all that box breathing and whatever, but I can't do it. And then I'd get in my head about it like, oh, I only did 6 seconds instead of 7. Don't worry about that. It absolutely works. I have the Heart Math app. I've seen myself get into coherence. As long as my exhalation is longer than my inhalation, that tells your body you're safe.
Yep.
That's all you got to do. You start doing that, and then you you think about something you're grateful for or that makes you happy. Just simple. It doesn't have to be anything big. It can be thinking about your bird or your dog or something you like to eat. Just keep it simple. Just something that makes you happy. So the breathing, the gratitude or joy thought. He does also talk about if you turn the corners of your mouth up just a little bit. I forget that a lot, but it does do something to your brain. You can smile and it changes your brain chemistry because whatever. Okay, and what's the other one? Okay, it also helps to put your hand on your heart. And you can even imagine that you're breathing through your heart. And it only takes 3 minutes of that. It's not some big, long thing. And then if you want to, I do it every morning and I do it every night. And my nervous system is being reset. And Greg Braden, I'd never heard him say this before, but when you're a speaker, sometimes you will share things in person that you wouldn't do it like on YouTube. But at the Austin one, he said this. He said, when you're in heart brain coherence, and I don't remember the exact word he said, he didn't say demons or entities, but basically the negative thought forms, whatever you want to call it, can't get in.
Family members.
Any of it, any non-beneficial energies, when you're in heart brain coherence, when you're in the zone, it can't get into your field. And I'm
when you're in the now.
That now I'm seeing things in my reality shift. And so I'm finally understanding what that means when they talk about your external is a reflection of your internal. I'm like, what? I mean, I understand the words, but then when you start doing this and you see it happen, it's mind-blowing, and it's so simple to do.
Well, because the universe, not the one we're choosing, but the 3D is set up to distract you, to keep you from waking up and continuing. And so everything that you just shared helps you stay in the now.
And it's set up to keep humans in a perpetual state of anxiety, whether you know it or not, because it becomes your normal. You're used to getting up, going to work, got to pay the bills, got to do this. Oh my God, we're at war again. Just all that in your brain and your nervous system. So we have to tell our nervous system that you're safe and you're okay. And so that's a way to do it. And I think that's the whole aging thing, because it's not natural what's happening to us. And I am pretty convinced that it's the wear and tear, just the daily wear and tear on our nervous system that causes the aging. Of course, gravity is part of it too, but we're going to figure it out. We are going to figure it out. And I think a lot of this stuff can be reined in free, like with sound and just us sharing these things, these little tips. And, you know, because how many times did I hear about this heart brain? But I have to hear it explained in a way that it's a benefit to you, because there's a long list of things that we can do, that we learn about, and who has enough hours in the day to do all of this?
Right.
And so you pick, like, what am I seeing is the biggest bang for the buck? But I can't even believe how, since I've started doing that, because I've done a lot of things to work on getting my nervous system. I did the vagal nerve, that stuff, which is all good, but it's not likely something you're going to stick with and do every day. And I'm falling asleep at night and I forgot to do it. And you can just be laying there and just do it. It's just so easy to do. You can be driving in traffic and wherever you live, and, you know, don't close your eyes, but just put your hand on your heart and just start breathing like that. And it just calms everything down.
And it takes your focus and attention off all this other stuff that is none of your business. That's the most important. So I incorporated this into my mindfulness in a different route. I had seen this guy on social media, and he's a gut doctor. Well, I don't even think he's a doctor. He just really knows what he's talking about. And so he would go on and just tell people how to heal themselves by making small changes in their life and removing things, you know, whatever. And when I heard him, I only heard, I was listening for like about 5 minutes, and I'm like, this guy is speaking my language, because I don't have, like, we can all talk about health, but I don't have a lot of people that have made the changes that I've made for the same reasons that I've made and been able to, like, stick with it, you know, whatever. So I was like, okay, I really like this guy. So I booked a session with him just to get some support on, like, digestion, because I just, as well, as we age, digestion gets harder, and I get really frustrated. I'm already vegan, and I eat a ton of fiber and all this other stuff, but it, you know, there's other things involved. So in meeting with him, he said, you know, do you drink coffee? And I said, yeah. And he's like, try this. Because this was about for me digesting better. He said, try this for a month, don't drink coffee, and just see how you feel. And I was like, man, like, that's going to be a tough one, because that's usually the first thing I do, not necessarily to wake up, but I just really enjoy it. It's kind of a ritual.
Yeah.
And then it gets me a lot further along so that I can intermittent fast. But I thought, you know what? I'll just switch to cacao, because it's a hot drink with almost all the same ingredients. It just doesn't have the coffee flavor. And there are actually herbal coffees that you can use too. So I did that, and it totally works. So what he explained to me is that caffeine, okay, so when you wake up, if the first thing you have is caffeine, it immediately spikes your cortisol level, which then puts you into fight or flight. You're so used to it, you don't even notice that. So you're just kind of going along and it's fine. But then the moment something happens that normally you'd be able to deal with, it's really dramatic, or it shuts you down, or it overwhelms you, or whatever, because you can only take so much and you're already up there. You just didn't realize it. And so I took his advice, and I didn't drink coffee for about a year and a half. And so now I am doing it again, but I really pull back from it. I don't know if everyone else knows, but there are a ridiculous amount of toxic chemicals and heavy metals in coffee. So you have to be really careful what you purchase.
And mold.
Yes. And tea is terrible, because there's a ton of pesticides. If there's no caffeine in something, because I just was like, oh, I'll just switch to decaf. When there's no caffeine, they just douse it in pesticides, because caffeine is also a insect deterrent. So long story short, if anyone is really trying to get connected and back into their like doing a reset, and they just want to comprehend their cortisol levels and, like, get it in check and feel an amount of peace in their life, try just replace the coffee with something else that's a good choice, that's healthy, whether it's, you can get decaf coffee if it is Swiss water processed, then it doesn't have the heavy metals and it doesn't have the toxins, and there's a plenty of them on Amazon and it's affordable, so it's not even a big deal. You just switch. But yeah, it helped me it helped me comprehend my normal. So then anytime I let it happen or I had coffee or whatever, I would immediately realize that I did this to myself, but that like my norm became wanting to be calm.
Was the coffee causing you gastric issues, or was it causing you to
Sorry.
be like
Yeah.
agitated type?
So what he said is that when your cortisol shoots up, it's harder to digest. Sorry, I
Okay.
forgot that
Because
part.
actually, it's normal for your cortisol to be higher in the mornings,
Okay.
but not too high.
Right. And
But you don't want it high at night, and that's what
yeah.
happens to a lot of people. And then they can't sleep, or that's why a lot of people wake up at 3 in the morning. Or
Yeah.
there's different theories on that.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
tough thing about all this with coffee, because I kept going back and forth with it.
Well, coffee's good for you too. That's the
Actually,
other thing.
coffee is good for you,
Mhm.
but
Especially
yeah, it
women.
has to be organic and
Yeah.
And now we're learning with tea that tea bags have plastic. I'm like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm. All of it.
It's, you're vegan and I am not. It's not a one size fits all.
No, not at
I
all.
absolutely cannot be vegan. It's very unhealthy for me.
Yeah.
I would prefer to not eat animals. I would. That's a whole another, I can't even go there with it. But you got to be really careful being vegan, especially when you get to my age, because there's this thing called sarcopenia. And I didn't realize I was getting it until I tried to stand up from the ground and I couldn't anymore. And so you have to have enough protein, and it's very, very important. And also, so I've been doing the intermittent fasting, and I more, not necessarily for weight loss, but autophagy is really good for you. Eats all those little zombie cells and stuff.
Yep.
And it's good for your mitochondria. But again, a lot of these people that are teaching you about it on YouTube, I don't know how old they are, but they look 30, 40. If you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, you should not, you got to be really careful doing fasting, because you could do more harm than good, and you're losing muscle, and you don't want to do that. And so you can get the same intermittent fasting results in a shorter window. So, it's like people just need to be careful. It's really not a one size fits all.
Mm-hmm.
God bless you if you're able to be healthy being a vegan. And a lot of people, I have a really good friend, and her body is literally, I think she looks like she's just going to drop dead. She's my age and she's just determined she's going to stay vegan. Her skin is just hanging on her skull. She needs some protein.
Well,
So
you have to it's nutrition. Like I'm very aware of nutrition, and so I don't so every choice that we make, like just because somebody's vegan, they can eat French fries and chips all day.
exactly.
That's not going to feed them.
You're a healthy vegan.
Yeah, I'm a super healthy.
And you're conscious of getting enough protein. You can do it, but it takes diligence.
Well, and I love to cook, and we're an almost ingredients only home, and it's so rare that I get anything out, like takeout. So
yeah,
we got it. But there are a lot of terrible eaters, and if you're a terrible eater already, and then you're like, well, if I go vegan, then that'll take care of it. No, it's not, because you're still going to be a terrible eater. You're just going to make the choices. I'd still prefer that over anything else. But everybody has to listen to their inner voice and what feels right for them. And it was a really easy choice for me. I was a vegetarian when I was like, I made the choice to be vegetarian when I was 15. So to go vegan wasn't difficult. And especially because I love to cook. But what I like about it personally is it removes so many things. Like off the table, because I don't have a very good self-discipline. If I if I'm going to have, I don't know, if somebody opens a bag of chips and I decide to have some, I'm going to eat way more than I should. So I just
Yeah.
remove it. If it's not here, I'm not going to have it. But that's what it's like for me. Like, there are most places that I walk into, there's nothing on the menu for me. Well, good. I've saved a lot of money. It's probably all microwaved. It's probably full of toxins. So there we go. But that's my own personal stuff. I've been looking at some of the comments in the chat. Coffee is good for women because it has estrogen in it. You just have to
Oh, it
use your
does? I didn't know
yeah.
that.
You just have to use your discernment, and it's also really good for like skin and other medical. You can use it other medically. I saw Tazo tea. Tazo is one of the worst pesticide sprayers, so just be careful to find out where your tea comes from. Um, America allows coffee and tea that is ridiculously high in the markers for pesticides that all other countries ban. It is amazing what America allows in,
I hope
because
we're cleaning that up. RFK Jr. was
I
talking a
know,
lot when Trump first got elected,
I
and
know,
haven't heard a word from him lately. I know
I
they
know.
redid the pyramid, but the food
Yeah.
Well,
pyramid.
here's one update. Like, speaking of that, Jan, Gatorade agreed to change their formulation today. And I thought it was so interesting. Like, you're mentioning that, and we were talking about this because before the show started, we were talking about HEB, and I had just been at this particular grocery store because I'm just weird and I enjoy a good grocery store. And so I was in Austin yesterday and went to Central Market on Lamar. And Jan had been there having lunch with somebody not long ago. And
Monday.
we were, yeah, on Monday, and we were talking about that. Well, it's funny that she brought this up because HEB, which is, my life and my religion here in Texas,
That's a
like
grocery store for those of you that don't live in Texas.
Yes.
I love HEB.
We love HEB.
Yeah,
We
and
do. They're the
yeah,
best. I mean, I live about 45 minutes from Kerrville where the horrible flooding was. And HEB just
Yes.
immediately truck after truck after generators,
They're
water.
the first ones there. They beat
They
FEMA.
are.
They're there
They
before
beat
FEMA.
everybody.
Yeah.
And they do so much for every community in Texas. So, like, everybody's devoted to their grocery store here. Well, HEB, they went through all of the ingredients that, they were talking about banning at the federal level and removing from foods. And they had already done so much. They really didn't have a lot, the Doritos, like the HEBs, the chips that look like Doritos, and some of the stuff that, anything that's like orange. And so it was really amazing. I'd been following that and seeing how they stacked up to other brand names and other foods. Well, then today Gatorade came out and Gatorade changed their formulation.
good.
And not that I'm ever going to put any formulation of Gatorade in my body because I would swell up like a blowfish. Let me just say.
Yeah.
But you saying that reminded me that I saw that earlier because they were talking about for kids, especially kids in sports, they're always giving them Gatorade.
In the high school and in college, and they all drink it.
Yeah.
Track and field. Yeah.
They're cleaning up the Gatorade, and so Gatorade is changing their formulation. So it's one thing, but think about how many kids are not going to be taking that into their bodies. It's kind of for Gatorade to do it just nationally was a big move.
Yeah, because none of it has to be a color. They can just use caps. The lids can be a color, and that would be it. Yeah,
Doesn't it seem like that whole momentum? It seemed like it stopped, just like Doge. What happened to all the wasteful money? Now they still talk a little bit about that, but
a little bit.
I really want them to fix our food. I'm so tired of. I can't even read labels anymore. So if it has you just got to eat food that doesn't have a label.
No, that's why we have. I don't know what it would really be, but I assume my house, the meals in this house are like 90% ingredients only.
Yeah.
Because I know I can wash it. I know where it comes from. I'm mindfully, picking it in the grocery store, and I'm mindfully paying attention to the way it's produced and where it comes from. And people always will say, "Oh, that's too much work or it's too expensive." No, it's not. It's not at all. Like I could shop for us for a month for probably like $300 if I
The
really,
most expensive food, it seems like, is the unhealthy stuff, like the sodas and all that.
Yeah.
I just want sodas to go away. I'm sorry if you like
Mhm.
sodas, but they're the worst.
Oh no,
And
my
it's
son
not
likes
just the
soda.
sugar.
I
They're
know.
so acidic. They're
I
so
know.
bad.
I was mad when I found out that like for the last few years there it's a huge like what sparkling water, bubble water thing.
Yeah.
And look, LaCroix, and I love the coconut LaCroix. And I was thinking that was even though it was in a can, that was my cheat. Okay. A LaCroix soda was my cheat. And then I found out that they're highly acidic, and I didn't make that connection, so now I don't even drink
I
that.
don't
But
think they're as acidic as like a Coke.
no, but
Well,
they're
'cause I,
still they
I
still
love
ruin your.
sparkling water, and I did research not too long ago. I wanted to know the water that they use to make those. I wanted
I
to
know.
know, are they just using tap water? Because I
Yeah.
don't drink fluoride in my water.
Mhm.
And actually, what I found out was pretty good.
Okay. Well,
But
see,
yeah, it is in a can, and I mean,
yeah.
it's a sometimes food. You call that a sometimes food.
I'm not perfect. We have bullshit.
No, and I think if
Yeah.
you're gonna have a little something treat, a sparkling water in a can is probably pretty low on because our bodies are amazing. We have the ability to heal ourselves as long as we don't overwhelm it. I mean, the body can detox a lot out. And so, but that doesn't mean go fill it with junk and I'll just detox it out.
Right.
It gets overwhelmed, but I don't know.
Well, if you already drink coffee, coffee's acidic unless you have a low acidic coffee. And then if
Well,
you
I
put
drink 2 cups of coffee a day and I love it, but what I do, I cheat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I take my chlorella in the mornings. So I'm in my nightgown, get my cup of coffee, and I take a whole handful of chlorella to
Me too.
alkalinize myself. I don't do it every day, but I try.
Oh, it's wonderful for you. No, that's the thing is this awareness just means that everything in moderation is long, but pretty soon that everything in moderation improves more and more.
Yeah.
Because the more you learn, the more it's easier to remove things. I don't buy canned goods. I'm very conscious about the coffee that I purchase. I get reverse osmosis water, and I'm not saying any of this to pat myself on my back. What I'm saying is that I'm making these mindful choices so that on occasion we can have some vegan ice cream or something. I really wish sodas would just leave this earth, because unfortunately that's like one of my son's favorite things to choose. But Whole Foods has really good cherry vanilla soda that doesn't have corn syrup, and so that's typically what I'll keep. But I won't even keep it at my my house. I'll keep it in my car, and I'll only bring one can in. It's funny how, like, I don't know, but that's my parenting. But I don't know, everybody's different. Everybody's different. We're all doing our best, or really aiming to do our best, and we all have our things that we don't want to compromise on, and it's totally okay because we're still here. Because if you're living your life in a healthy way, a mindful way, a conscious way,
Yeah.
if everything else surrounding that treat that you have every once in a while, it's okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's what I think too. It's just like the music. It's of course, when you're eating it, a lot of it you don't know it literally has poison in it. So it's a little trickier than listening to music or saying good morning. It's about your intention. But if they're pretty healthy and this is their, they're not drinking a 12-pack of soda a day. They're having one or two. It's not
if people do that, they are going to end up with kidney failure.
Oh yeah.
Well, caramel coloring is so bad. Like in the soda, because I'm just gonna tell you, if I could live my addiction, it would be Diet Coke.
Oh,
like I love the shit out of Diet Coke.
Really?
I can't drink
it. Tastes so bad.
It makes me, well, I can't drink it at all. I loved it. I mean, when I tell you, Jan, I loved it. But it tears me up. And I can't drink it and haven't for years. If I want some sort of soda and if I really want a cola, I'll drink one made with cane sugar like every now and again.
Yeah.
But caramel coloring, just the dye in it.
I know.
Yeah.
John's father was on kidney dialysis, like his kidneys. He had end-stage renal, and he was on dialysis for years. And they told him the worst thing you can put in your body is caramel coloring.
Really?
So, yeah, that if you even get, because you can
it's
get
probably made from, because caramel sounds like this nice natural thing. There's no telling what the coloring.
That's the thing. From. It's whatever the coloring is made of.
Road tar.
Yeah, Nikki Shannon and her horrid Diet Coke. I'm telling y'all, like, people get hooked on cocaine.
Yeah.
And John used to work for a lady that said they took the cocaine out of Coke, but the addiction's still there.
Yeah.
Honey, that was me and Diet Coke, but I cannot.
Yeah.
It immediately gives me a UTI. Like, if I have 2 Diet Cokes, I'll have a UTI. It is not, I don't do it, but
well, I'm sure there's
so
stuff
bad
in there to get you addicted to it. There has to be.
Absolutely.
I heard that they were putting something in Topo Chico water to make you addicted to it.
I wouldn't doubt that. Topo Chico is also, John.
I used to love Topo Chico, and I still do, but I kind of quit buying it because I'm not sure. Well, these companies,
it has arsenic in
you
it.
research it, and you find eggs or whatever, your chocolate or your coffee or your tea brand, and then that's what you're going to stick with because you read the label and you research. Well, then you're going along, doing your grocery shopping, and that's your go-to brand that you already researched. Well, then you find out just by accident they got bought out by Coca-Cola or Nestle or whatever, and then all that stuff is in there and you didn't know it. I'm going through this with eggs right now. I thought Vital Farms was good, but it might be a hit piece. You got to be careful. Sometimes when you think this is a good company and then there's a hit piece on YouTube or whatever, if it's a good company, they're going to attack it because they don't want us supporting the good company. So it's really tricky now to find out. So, of course, the pasture is a given. But it's what are they feeding the chickens? And apparently there's some way they're scooting around with the terms. I'm just so tired of it. I'm like,
what maybe they're feeding the chickens vegetables, but what are those vegetables sprayed with?
Soy goes in there. I don't want vegetarian feed. That means nothing. It's like all natural.
Well,
I'm sorry. Plant-based. I joke with my niece and nephew. I probably shouldn't say this on YouTube. I'm like, well, isn't poop natural? Can they put poop in the food? What does that mean? Or plant-based? Sawdust is plant-based? Is there sawdust in there?
Find a local farm. Find a local farm near you.
They need.
But a local farm doesn't mean they're using good feed.
Yeah. I mean, I will say in the chicken life, we have a good friend. We have chickens for eggs. And we have a good friend she's Ukrainian and she lives in Idaho and she works with me. And so when we first got chickens, John and I are like trying to buy the best thing to feed our chickens or whatever. And she's like, feed them everything, feed them your food. The same way you would eat it, like wash it, bugs and worms and all that sort of stuff.
Most of the farms do supplement with feed. I got involved in I think it was a Facebook thread in my neighborhood, and they were talking about this, and I had a headache and I had to stop watching it. And I just saw somebody post Vital Farms is bad. Well, the other thing too, I learned recently, and it shouldn't surprise me. So I had just some inexpensive eggs because they were it's when everything was running out, and I just wanted some eggs. I'm like, wow, I hadn't seen any yolks that pale in a long time because I'd been buying the Vital Farms and their yolks are like almost orange. So we learned that you want a really dark yolk. Well, guess what they're doing? They're feeding chicken stuff to make their yolks. I'm not saying Vital Farms is, they may be.
So weird.
But that's what they're doing now. They figured out a way to feed the chickens something. They do that with salmon too. There's something they can feed the salmon, the farm raised salmon, that makes their flesh pinker. Like, you assholes. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's so true. And that's the thing. Fresh eggs versus what you get in the store, there are so many differences. It's fascinating. Like, we've had chickens for a few years, and before that we had ducks until I discovered that I was allergic to duck eggs in a major way.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, I felt like I was being stabbed, and I was like, it wasn't usually when you have a reaction like that, it's more of like your gut's a little messed up. Mine was just straight pain.
That's weird. I had to go off eggs for a while, and just temporarily, thank God, because I love eggs. But I could eat duck eggs. Supposedly they're less allergenic or whatever. But so you have chickens. I would love to have chickens, but I just don't want to attract the coyotes. And plus, I get attached to everything. I'd be bringing them in the house if it was cold. I can't do it.
No, mine are running. I'm raising to add to our. I have ducks, and they're gonna live with our ducks. And I raise the babies, and so we go back and forth to our farm every week until they stay.
And that we got so many snakes and stuff. I know. Do you keep yours in a coop thing?
Yeah.
They're in a coop, and we have a problem. The cows haven't bothered them, but raccoons have bothered them.
Yeah,
raccoons.
I lost my chickens year before last to raccoons.
They kill the chickens, or they just get the eggs?
Oh no, they kill and eat them.
The chicken? Oh no, I didn't know that.
Squirrels attack my doves and my pigeons. Squirrels attack them. So we're like, what? Yeah, we actually had to look that up. Here we're talking about keeping things okay. And
I have hawks too, and I love them. They always have a nest every spring on my lot next door. And they've been in my yard. I don't know how. I had a frog in my pool, a frog. I'm not a toad. And singing out there at night. And I thought it was so cool. And then one morning I looked out, and there's this huge, at first I thought it was an eagle sitting on the railing by the pool. And I'm like, wow, what's he doing? Oh my God. And I'm taking pictures of him. He was hunting in my pool, and he got my frog.
Oh,
seriously, there's so much stuff. Go down to the lake. Don't hunt in my pool.
Yes, please.
So I'm not doing chickens. It would be, there's too many.
It is. We figured out how to do their housing to, keep raccoons away, but raccoons were a big issue. We had raccoons the size of toddlers.
Well, and they got hands, so they can.
Yeah. They'd go up on our bird feeders and dump out the bird feeders just on the ground.
Yeah.
And then there would be like everything out there eating all, because we have a wildlife exemption for birds. And we've got, bird feeders and water features and different things like that. But the chickens I love for the eggs.
Yeah.
And
is something happening? Well, I'm the only one here, so I'll talk to you guys. So I'm on a quest again to find eggs. I saw somebody post something in there, a good brand. I'll go look at it again. There's the ones I have now. I did get at HEB, which is our grocery store, in case y'all didn't catch that, in Texas. I don't remember. But they look all different colors. Like some look white and some look brown and some look bluish. I don't know. That just seemed like a good thing. The tech is failing us tonight. Okay. Am I in here just talking to myself, or is the chat still going on? No, the chat still seems to be there going on. Nellie's. I think it might be Nellie's. Yeah. Well, that's a shame about Vital Farms, because yes, pasture raised 100%, but I've been trying to look on the label where it talks about what they feed them. I've been trying to look on the label, anything, because I don't want the GMO corn, soy. That's a no bueno. But they don't really say. Somebody told me Trader Joe's had eggs that they don't feed the chickens soy or corn. Now, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's the Jan show.
What happened?
I don't know. Y'all bailed on me.
No, not intentionally. I'm so sorry. My dog's 15 and a half and doing well, but I have wood floors and cement floors, and so she often slips and then gets stuck because she can't get herself back up. And I heard her. I'm so sorry. And then Shannon, sorry,
Yeah.
Jan. That was not on purpose.
You out too? Y'all both
I was out.
disappeared at
I
the
was
same
in the
time.
backstage area. Like I glitched out, but I came back so I could hear you.
Yeah.
And it's just really weird. I know we'll get into the astrology of it.
They're posting about the eggs. Pete and Jerry eggs.
Oh, cool,
about eggs. Trader Joe's supposedly
you can
has some
Trader
eggs
Joe eggs lots of times.
Do that.
If you buy Trader Joe's eggs,
their brand, somebody said it's like the orange.
Their brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can put them in an incubator and half the time they'll hatch. Even after being in the store.
Really?
It is the wildest thing. Yes, that is a very interesting Trader Joe's egg thing.
None of them I have found, and I looked, none of them are very specific about the feed. But I had a friend who really researches this stuff. She told me Trader Joe's, and I think she said it's the one that looks kind of orange, and that's what I have now in the refrigerator. And I don't want to find a little chicken in there though.
Well, it's weird. I mean, you have to incubate it, so you're good. But I watched several videos on Trader Joe's eggs, and people testing this theory and buying them and putting them in the incubator, and they would hatch. And it's got to be. That's what I was going to say. Sunfire Goddess said unfertilized eggs are good. Yeah, I mean, like I'm getting ready to separate all my hens. I have 2 roosters that are just. They hate nail polish. It's weird. They attack your hands. If you're a woman and your nails are painted, they come at them. I don't know what it is, if it's the light, the reflection. They do not like it. They don't bother John like they bother me and Rebecca and, anybody who goes near the roosters that's a woman. Is
it the color or any nail polish?
I don't know. I haven't tried with these dark nails. Usually I wear like reds and stuff, so I don't know if it's that color, because chickens are not supposed to see red. Like there's a whole thing. They put glasses on certain roosters. But anyway, the Trader Joe's thing, I watched several videos on them hatching Trader Joe's eggs from the store in an incubator. And I just thought that was wild.
That is wild. Huh.
Yeah, I know people do that with quail eggs, and I think that's so odd. Well, I have so we live. I live downtown, but then our farm is 50 minutes east, and my son and I travel back and forth with birds and dog every week, and I've met a few people because we're in a very like unincorporated area. It's stunningly beautiful. It's such a introvert's heaven and just like an amazing reset. But I've met a few people out there, and everyone is way nicer out there. It's the only place in San Diego that feels more like the Midwest, where people are actually genuinely kind to each other. Those are the kind of people I like. And I have 2 people that come by every week now and get all our eggs, because I get over 20 duck eggs, and pretty soon I'll have chicken eggs every week, like minimum. And I love being able to gift them out to people that, that are feeding them their family, because I know that that we take really good care of them. But the one girl just told me a few days ago that, because one of the people told me don't wash them, because she incubates some of them. And so the other woman, I said, I don't wash them for you because I don't want to weaken the shell for travel. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but I like intuitively. And she said, no, I actually like the she has this little mantra that she does, that while she washes them, she thanks the chicken and she thanks the God and the earth for providing for her family. And I didn't even know she was doing that. So I think that's really cool that even though I wouldn't say she's awake at all. I love that there still is some type of like energy that I'm bringing in. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're still, it's still a very complimentary
It's your
appreciation
connection.
and
You still can
gratitude.
have
Yeah.
I just learned this. So if you get chicken eggs, fresh chicken eggs that were just laid, if you don't wash them, they don't have to be refrigerated.
Oh, okay.
The film on them.
Yeah.
But then if you wash that off,
yeah,
it opens the pores of the shell.
John literally just typed that in when you said that.
Oh, cool. We're syncing. Yeah. I've never heard that before. I was like, really? The thought of eggs being out. Well, yeah, and butter doesn't need to be refrigerated. I know that because when I was a little girl, my great grandmother, I go to their house and they had real butter. My mother, margarine, parquet, but they'd have butter and it was sitting out.
Yeah. Well, I have a bakery, and when they make the buttercream, it can sit out at room temperature, even though milk was put into it, because the sugar, the acid in the sugar cooks it somehow. It's real. Food is so.
Yeah, I don't understand that with butter. I think it has to be in like a butter crock, but it does have milk in it unless it's ghee. Ghee doesn't need to be refrigerated.
Oh,
so
yeah, we always grew up with a butter bell.
Bell, that's what it's called.
A butter bell.
Yeah. All that stuff's coming back.
It
right?
is. I had
all this baloney about salt's bad for you. If you got high blood pressure, don't eat salt.
Yeah.
It's not from too much salt. It's from not enough potassium. It's just, oh my God.
And then we all
back to what our great grandparents did. They were right about so many things.
And you need salt for your electrolytes and your balance. And so you have all these people who have gone so low salt. Now they're having to add it to their,
Spray yourself. Spray yourself. That's like Shannon and Amber. We have a friend that's missing here today, Jan. But you'll meet her someday. She's a Team Light person. She's in Maui, and she was also in the medical community. She was in the emergency room. And every time we say like, I don't feel good, whatever, she's like, salt, salt, salt. And she taught us to get ancient minerals and just heat up water, add ancient minerals to that water, put it in a spray bottle, and then spray your large muscle groups every day, because the only way to truly absorb magnesium is through the skin. I didn't know that. So that's salt. And last week I didn't feel good for a few days, but it was lasting too long because I was like, okay, I don't have any symptoms. Like, why did I still wake up feeling like crap today? So I took an ancient mineral bath and then took my dog for a walk. And by the time I got home, completely felt like myself again.
So you're talking about ancient minerals. You're talking about not salt. You're talking about magnesium.
Epsom salt, magnesium.
Epsom salt. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. And
so it's salt, regular salt.
Sodium chloride.
You also need. Like good salt.
Celtic salt.
Not Morton's. Crap, but that has all the minerals in it. That even in the mornings when you wake up, if you put a little bit under your tongue, you get those minerals or whatever. And then I sometimes do Sol water, SOL. Y'all know about that? You just get a little mason jar. You don't want to have a metal lid on it, but and you just put salt in there. I'm kind of off Himalayan salt when I found out there's so much of it is fake.
I use Celtic.
I use the gray. The gray Celtic salt.
Yeah.
There's A2B has a gray Celtic salt.
I'm doing Redmond's now. I switch around. I have some Celtic salt, but Redmond's is from Utah. And then I just saw something negative about it recently about lead. Well, I had made a batch of Sol water, SOL, and it becomes super saturated. And you just will take a spoon of that every morning or whatever, and it gives you a lot of minerals and energy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have a water lead test kit, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna test, because I was like bummed out. I researched Redmond's and people, they sell salt blocks. They're very popular for horses, and I'm like, son of a gun. There, I'm back to square one. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna go by one negative, whatever. So I got my water test kit and tested so it would show up because it's super saturated. There's like a cup of salt in this pint of water. Anyway, I tested it. It was a hit piece on Redmond's. I'm sure all salts sometimes can have lead. But it's, I don't.
I know. Do you have well water? Oh, sorry, Kimberly.
No, it's okay.
No, I'm on regular water, but I don't drink it.
Yeah, I was going to say we have a well, and we have one of the great things about here is we have very alkaline water.
Nice. Yeah.
And very pure water. And we had it tested. We brought in people and did that. And the people, we were fortunate, they had a rainwater system that catches the rainwater. And then we have the well too. But yeah, I mean, we went through the same thing. We were like, is this okay? Can we drink this? Can we not drink it? And it's very high alkaline. But John has to make rainwater by adding vinegar to it to make it acidic for our plants. Because plants, need rainwater. And this year, we both really felt, when you say things like we felt called, you sound a little crazy, but we did. We're like, okay, we have to grow food. Because we'd been growing in our garden mainly for our tortoises and stuff. And I'm like, we have to grow some food. So John has been growing squash and tomatoes and peppers and, things like that. And he has to supplement them because the water here is so alkaline with some acidity. And we have to do the same thing for the chickens. A little bit of apple cider vinegar in their water to help them too.
Or how's his plant vegetable garden going? We've had this discussion in our group. So I know how to grow stuff, and I had a garden right when I moved in here, and it did great. I have noticed over the last, I'm not sure how many years, time is kind of weird. But
it doesn't exist, that's why.
I have lots of plants. I can grow stuff. And I know this is going to sound really strange, but I've talked to quite a few people and they've been experiencing the same thing. Something's been going on with growing plants that produce food. I can't get peppers to grow. There's an issue with zucchini, but this has been going on for years and nobody's lived here before me. I bought these lots. So it's not like there's something in the soil, and I had really good soil brought in the beds. And I don't know if it's from chemtrails because, every area gets heavily chemtrailed, but it's been a while since I've seen it, but a few years ago, there was these long strings that almost looked like a spider web, but going like across my yard from tree to tree, and there is no spider that lives in the US, maybe in Australia, that can shoot. They weren't spider webs, and they were all, you'd see them in the sun. It's like, what is that? And I'm like, is that from the chemtrails? So the only thing I can figure is, and I've heard what some of the chemicals are in the chemtrails. Some people have tested it. It's a lot of metals and stuff. So I don't know if have y'all heard anything about that? It's affecting people's soil?
I didn't.
Go ahead.
No, Shannon, you go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I hadn't heard about that necessarily affecting their soil, but I will tell you, when we moved from Bulverde, it was so easy to grow food crops in Bulverde. And we moved to this house in 2021, and we tried to grow food when we first moved, and it was not as successful.
Yeah.
And then we switched to, and so I thought, we moved 30 miles, but we're on a different aquifer and some different things like that. So I thought it was maybe related to that, but this is a good point. Now this year, John redid some of our raised bed stuff just for the purpose of growing food. Because we're like, we didn't put the dirt in these beds. It was already there, and he wanted to upgrade it, and he composts And so he like mixed in air compost and got, good dirt, and they seem to be doing better. But we did have the experience in 2021 of trying to grow and we didn't. And, so he's been working on that, and it's, knock on rock, it's going pretty well this time. But we had that issue when we moved, and in my other house, he grew a garden and it just grew like wildfire. Like we couldn't give it away. It was
used to
even
be. It would go crazy, and I was just, what am I going to do with all these tomatoes and corn and zucchini and squash and green beans and radishes, peppers? And keep in mind, stuff that's not food producing plants are doing fine.
Yeah.
How does that make sense?
So I've recently seen a post a few times from the same man who I feel is very authentic. So one of the things I love to do when I go to Mount Shasta is fill up all my water jugs and bring water back, and I keep it in spray bottles and around me, and I drink it every once in a while. Nothing. I have water from Mount Shasta that I got out of the creek, right? That is crystal clear still 5 years later. Like, I love the water up at Mount Shasta, and when you're up there, you'll see these signs and information that Shasta has the cleanest water on Earth, like tested scientifically.
Yeah.
So I have always loved that, I bring it home. This man recently has been sharing that he's been testing the snow in Mount Shasta and then the earth. So he got there was like a 14% increase in heavy metals, blah, blah, blah. Like, don't quote me, a significant amount increase on something that never existed in the water before. But then when he would test the ground below it, it was pristine and clean without all that stuff. So the snow that's falling on Mount Shasta is getting pummeled with the toxicity and the heavy metals.
So that would make sense. It's either it raining down on the snow, or is it when it's snowing, it's pulling it out of the atmosphere?
So maybe that's what's happening with your food. Maybe try sprouting a pepper buy a pepper and then try sprouting the seed.
I have. And I have some heirloom
harm.
seeds. Maybe I need to try those.
Yeah, man.
But I'll buy the plant, like at Home Depot. I mean, in Texas, everybody can grow tomatoes and peppers. I mean, and even those won't really grow.
Yeah. And we had trouble this year. John went around and around getting good plants. And, that's something you could go to Tractor Supply, you could go to McCoy's, you could go to tons of different places, and the plants were really good looking. And this year we couldn't even find, I don't think we have one zucchini. We have squash, but we could not find one good zucchini plant.
Well, now that I'm thinking about it, these attempts, some of them were from seeds, but most of them were from little plants. And so are they non-GMO? Like if you go to Lowe's or Home Depot or even the H-E-B sells little plants, that could be the problem. Because they're trying to sterilize. I mean, taking the seeds out of watermelons, go figure, watermelon seeds are extraordinarily nutritious.
That's probably where all the magnesium is.
They're taking the seeds out of fruits and vegetables, and I don't know. That's a good point. I'll dig out my heirloom seeds, because I was thinking it was something going on with the soil, but now that talking with y'all, I'm like, it's not my soil. It's the little vegetable plants that I've been getting at Home Depot. There's something wrong with them.
The stuff in the air. The other thing is, I don't know if your library has it, like whatever's close to you, but here in Bernie, our library has a seed bank, and it has heirloom seeds. Yeah, you can go to the library and take heirloom seeds. So you may want to check your library.
I have a bunch of heirloom seeds. I have lots. I'm going to do that. Good. and I'm going to test it because I have a friend. She lives in San Antonio, and she's not having any problems. And I'm going to ask her. I'm probably going to see her on Sunday. I'm going to ask her, are you growing your vegetables from seeds, non-GMO seeds, or are you? Yeah, you know what? That's probably what it is. And they don't care. I mean, they're selling these little tomato plants, little pepper plants, and they've gone way up since that 2020 thing. Plants went sky high, and they haven't come back down. I don't understand why that is, because they can grow them in a greenhouse. But they don't really care. I mean, you're going to buy it and take it home, and you're not going to go back to Home Depot and say, you know, those wouldn't really grow tomatoes. They'll look at you like, well, that's not my problem. That's your problem. You don't know how to grow.
Emily said she'll start her own seed catalog. You know, it'd be really cool is if somebody started a, you know, they have the little libraries, the mini libraries that people, I forget what I know there's a term for it, where somebody builds a little house and puts the books in there, and there's an app. Okay, where you can find. It would be really cool if people start doing that with seeds. I saw a video.
They will, now that you said that. You just put it out into the
Emily.
universe.
Emily, do it. I just saw a video. It's a very funny guy who shares wonderful information about plants, and he went around his yard and picked all the weeds, but he kept saying, I'm going to my neighbor's yard because they have more weeds than me, whatever. He was very funny. And he put a huge pile of weeds in a bucket, filled the bucket up with water, and then he drilled holes in the lid so that it could breathe and burp, I guess, right? And he said, let this sit for a week to 6 weeks. The worse it smells, the better it is. And it turns into food for your plants. It's that simple. So that's really, really nutritious plant food.
You know, I was at a conference in Bastrop, which is not too far from Austin, a few years ago. It's called the Greater Reset. They do a lot of exit and build training. And there was a guy there teaching, and he had a recipe. And it's like that. You get like a Home Depot bucket, and you get, you know how when you dig in the mulch and there's that white powdery looking, it's a fungal, whatever. It's based on that.
Diatomaceous earth?
No. It's the undergrowth that, it's like a fungus or whatever that will grow underneath the mulch. And it's kind of white, powdery looking. And it's actually a beneficial thing. When I would see it, I thought there was something wrong. But anyway, so you're getting that and you're making like a soup out of it. It's similar to what you just said, Kimberly. And so you take that, and I have the recipe somewhere because I want to try that. It's not mycoplasm. It's something that, anyway, this recipe, that what it does for the soil, it actually will neutralize glyphosate?
Mm-hmm.
Roundup, which when he was telling us that, I was like, oh my God. So there's these properties that maybe you buy a farm or a house and you don't really know what's been put on the land. And you're trying to grow a garden, and they might have sprayed it with Roundup. And so I told the guy, I tracked him down in the parking lot. I'm like, oh my God, this, what you just said, it's so huge. Are you gonna? And so, he's gone mainstream with that to share it with everybody out there, because it's so easy to do. Oh wait, somebody just said it. How do you say that?
The mycelium network. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
so that, if you put it in like a bucket and you let it, there's something else you add to it, and I can't remember what it is. You let it ferment, so to speak, grow. I guess it sounds like you're making kombucha.
Mm-hmm.
Or yogurt. But but it's not just good for the plants, but it I think he used the word neutralizes glyphosate. That's really cool. Yeah. No telling what else it's neutralizing. But he's a young guy, and it just gives me so much hope that, there's people out there. You don't hear about it. We hear all the negative if you watch news or whatever. But there are amazing people out there that are trying to figure this, not trying, they are figuring this out. So the da-da-das or whatever that keep trying to wear us down and keep us tired and stressed out and our nervous system like, nope, we're going to be talking about this and we'll share little tips. And you're not the only one. And don't underestimate how much this stuff is affecting our physical bodies. But it actually is pretty easy if you stick with it. But pretty quickly we can rein it in. And so we got to share this with each other. That's why what you're doing, Kimberly, and what it's amazing. And then one person in here might say it to one person, you know how that is. And then it just like, yeah, it gets out there. I love it.
Does. And John, jump in if you, because I know you're on here. There's also certain flowers that can pull heavy metal. Devil's trumpet is one of them. So like when they have toxic sites and toxic soil, mushrooms, a flower, and I'm pretty sure it's devil's trumpet.
Is that the upside down white flower, that really big, beautiful flower that hangs upside down?
Is that the same as Columbine? No,
it's not Columbine. John will probably even know the Latin for it, so he'll get it in a minute.
Does that grow here? I'm not familiar with that.
You can grow it here. They grow it a lot in Louisiana. Like when Katrina happened and there was like so much damage to the stuff there, they would use it around there. John's an arborist by trade. He was he was a licensed arborist until he retired. And the mushrooms pull out. There's a lot of fungi, and then and Tiger Paw said hemp. Hemp is great for the soil.
Yeah.
So even if you have land that has issues, you've got to work on your soil and make sure you've got compost mixed in.
How do you grow hemp? Can you get hemp seeds to grow hemp?
You can get hemp seeds now to grow hemp.
Yeah.
And, one of the things, devil's trumpet, he says, like the devil's trumpet is a good one, and it pulls chemicals out of the soil. The other weird thing that I'll say before I get off of my weird stuff I learned from my husband who's in the other room, peel your cucumbers, people. For the love of all things, peel your cucumbers.
Peel them? I just ate 2 today.
Cucumber skin
holds little babies.
Toxins. The skin of cucumbers holds toxins. And so if you're going to eat cucumbers, the inside, not a problem. All of the toxins from the soil that goes into the cucumber, it goes into the skin. And that is one thing I will say, peel your cucumbers. And
so then you can eat a lot of the nutrition is in the peel. I heard this recently. I love kiwi, and I just learned you're supposed to eat the peel, that hairy, fuzzy. That's
weird
thing.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah. It's funny. We are now a galactic homesteading group.
We are.
Yeah, and cucumbers, when you get the really big ones, they're real waxy. I a lot of times do peel those, but I got the little baby ones and they're organic. But I do know that a lot of this stuff that says it's organic, because a lot of our produce comes from Mexico, and I have personally seen trucks at the border and they're just spraying them down.
Mm-hmm.
So it may have been grown organic, but is it organic? I don't know.
Well, just remember, America maybe this has stopped. It was supposed to have stopped with RFK Jr. I never say that right. But America has allowed things in abundance that the rest of the world absolutely does not allow in their own countries.
Yeah.
Like food dyes, bread, pesticides, bread. Yeah. Everything.
Bread and pasta. I mean, go to Italy.
I can't eat it. I got the gluten thing now, and I didn't growing up, but I have my theories on what happened. I didn't know I was eating wheat that had been hybridized and sprayed with Roundup. And so I think
when you're in Europe, and when you're in Europe, when you're in France, their bakeries
Oh, I
bread and
can't
what goes
wait,
in it.
girl. I'm going to be hitting croissants.
Yes.
I
And
can't
you
wait.
really don't believe how different it is.
Yeah, I can't
And
wait.
it's so different. And you'll be able to eat things that here you can't eat.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm probably going to want to move there. No,
Yeah.
I won't. But yeah, I just keep thinking that we're going to turn this around, because it could be, because in my world, we're very aware of it, but
Mhm.
it seems like it's kind of going mainstream with our food. I mean, they're showing people a label of, say, Cheerios or Fruit Loops. This is the European label. It has like 5 things on it.
Right.
Still not great, Fruit Loops or whatever.
Right.
But then the American one has 30 ingredients. And
Yep.
so they're showing us. Well, some of us have known, but I just was hoping this would go a little quicker. But if
Me
you
too.
ask for it, they will change. Like the chicken people, they didn't necessarily on their own go cage free, and then we learned what cage free means, and it's like, no, we don't want that. In the pasture raised, that was consumer driven, and the
Yes.
no hormones and the no antibiotics, that's consumer driven. So we're not buying this if you're going to do it. So if we keep bugging them, or quit buying it. But when you go
That's
in
the
the
thing.
grocery store, I'm sorry, but some of those aisles, the chip or the soda aisle or the whatever, people are still buying it. And
Yeah.
I don't know
And
if things are not going to change until people stop.
yeah, and they don't, a lot of people assume, you go into a store and you assume that the grocery store is not going to sell you something that's bad for you. And I know that's naive, and we all know better.
Yeah.
But a lot of people really don't know. They
Oh, is
think,
that the
oh,
same logic as, well, the doctor wouldn't prescribe anything
Right.
unless I
Yeah.
needed it?
Yeah.
yes, ma'am, you know
No, you
better.
have to stay out of the aisles. I mean,
Yeah.
everything that tastes good is in the aisles. I get it, but stay in the produce
Well,
store.
even American cheese, and I love cheese, but I've been learning that, like, when I go to France, I've been there before, but it was a long time ago. And
Yeah.
that, so I know a couple that live here now, and they're from France, and they were telling me that American cheese, I don't mean American cheese, I mean American cheese.
Yes.
They say it doesn't taste like anything. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait to taste cheese. But you can now, like if I went to the grocery store, I'm sure I could find cheese that was from France,
Yeah.
right? But just don't buy the Kraft cheddar or whatever.
Yeah. Anything from Kraft, everybody should be super suspicious. Just throwing that out there.
Any of the big brands, Kraft. And
If you follow the how would I say this right? So I learned that oils, not coconut oil is fine, right? But like any vegetable oil, soybean oil, all that oil was originally designed to lubricate motors.
yeah.
So how it transferred over into our food products is, I mean, I could read about it,
Well,
but
they used it to like cook, but they used tallow and lard, but all this stuff they've come up with since, the safflower, sunflower, I'm going to age myself here. Who was the one that from Brady Bunch with the Wesson?
yeah,
That was
Vegetable
all.
oil,
Everybody bought Wesson oil back in the
because
day.
it worked. It made the recipes, like we didn't know. But it's the same thing with fluoride. It's so easy to find out why fluoride is bad for you, and my friends love to argue with me about it, and I'm like, I didn't even bring it up, okay? But if you want to know the
That's an
truth,
easy one. You're going to consume a known neurotoxin, a poison, in the hopes of preventing a cavity. Somebody said this: if a truck carrying fluoride overturned on the highway, they would have to evacuate the whole area. It's that toxic.
It's a runoff from making aluminum.
Yeah.
And just because a dentist discovered that the kids in his town weren't getting cavities because they were using the water, he figured it out and then made it
not really.
Though. It's ridiculous.
It is from the dental standpoint.
Just because it's on your teeth doesn't mean you should drink it.
Well, and it doesn't help you. So fluoride is good for your teeth, but not in drinking form. And so the whole thing is a lie. And my day job, I work in the dental.
Crisco. Yes, Crisco.
Crisco was the worst.
Oh my God, I grew up with that.
Yes.
Horrible.
And John mentioned it earlier. Don't even get me started on this whole lie that you have to have super low cholesterol, because cholesterol makes your brain, and that's also not a great idea. But for women especially, it starts to go up at menopause, and it's a natural thing for a reason. But like fluoride, they can paint it on your teeth at the dentist office, and that doesn't go into your system. You're not eating it. You don't use it.
The way they used to do it at my dentist, they'd put this thing in there and you're in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they don't do that.
Don't swallow it, and it's like running down my throat. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, people don't really do the trays anymore. They do a paint on it.
Taking it out of the water. I thought RFA had convinced.
The water is terrible, and it doesn't help your teeth.
Yeah,
like it only helps your teeth, and not in your toothpaste either.
There's plenty of studies out there you can find about fluoride. That was part of the dumbing down of America agenda.
Yes.
Not just your pineal gland. That was part, and that started decades ago.
With prisoners, with Japanese prison in the Japanese
concentration
up in San Francisco.
The internment camps.
And I don't know. I think they've made some progress, because I'm not saying this to be mean, but seriously, people's attention span and their cognitive ability to figure things out is horrifying. I don't know if that's from fluoride or the media.
Oh, ADD,
dumbing down the America plan. They've made a little bit of headway, I'm sorry to say.
I didn't have allergies when I was little. I do now. I didn't have ADD when I was little. I do now. Like, and those are loose terms, but it is absolutely in our environment, and so it's just everything's discernment, and so
this ADD thing, because I feel like
newer.
What's going on with me? So I've noticed some changes in myself, and this is part of what they're doing to us as well. So we've become like a TikTok world. So when I was still working not in the hospital, but in corporate, a lot of the stuff we did had to be in email, because we're spread out all over the world. And so that was the way a lot of stuff got done. And some of the emails would be really long that you had to read. Mm-hmm. Well, I'd noticed it a few years ago. I'm the coordinator for this group, and we're having a meetup, and I'm not a long email, maybe a paragraph, and I'd get a reply back, well, when is it? And it's like, it was in the first sentence, or it'd even be in the subject line, and I'd get all these emails, well, what time and where, what? And so then I slowly started noticing, and this is a lot of people, I'm not talking 2 or 3, and over a few years, I've been noticing this, and I'm sure y'all have too, that with texting and TikTok videos, people, they don't really want to read more than one sentence. Mm-hmm. If your email or your text is 4 sentences, it's not happening. That's horrifying. But I was noticing it in myself. Like, I can't read like I used to. I'll start reading, and then I'm like getting up, and I can't stay focused on it. And I'm like, oh, it kind of freaked me out. Yeah. And so I was like, am I having something with my brain chemistry going on? No, it's just a pattern. I've gotten into a pattern that everything's shorter. Some videos channels I listen to on YouTube, they do really long 2, 3, 4 hour videos. And, I can't necessarily sit there for 4 hours. I'll make it through it. And I might do an hour today and an hour later. But the reading thing was really concerning to me. I'm like, I've never had ADD or any attention issues. And I'm like, this is what's happened. They've slowly steered us into being a TikTok society.
Yeah.
And people don't, I see people comment in a video, like there'll be one, it might be on a supplement, like in there, it's maybe an 8-minute long video, 5-minute long video. And I saw this just the other day, because sometimes I like reading comments. It said, well, that was 5 minutes wasted time for you just to tell me whatever. It's like, he's educating you on things that you need to know.
Yeah.
Not just
I agree.
the answer. And you're doing a huge disservice
to
yourself of the knowledge. It's not, I just, oh my God.
No, one of my favorite things to do is put on a audiobook or an educational podcast, or, people like this, a live. And I will do something else, like on my laptop, I have this like really magical sorting game, and I'll do that because then that helps me focus. I really want to listen to it. I want to learn, and I'm actually absorbing it because I'm in a relaxed state while I'm doing it. Like, I found a hack for that for myself, but it's not for everybody. But I found that if I'm like, if somebody has hobbies, you can knit and listen. Like, I'm not good at just listening anymore, but I can walk and listen. That's also my favorite thing. So, Sherry, thank you for bringing up the black cumin seed oil. I ran out and I forgot to reorder because I learned that when you pair that with turmeric, then it's way more beneficial. Like, you absorb the turmeric better too. I don't remember if I knew that it was good for allergies. So thank you for sharing that with us.
It's very anti-inflammatory. I think black cumin seed oil is one of the highest.
Well, it's one of those things you have to pair like we're always told, get turmeric, but then there's ways to actually absorb the turmeric better, and it's with pepper or black cumin seed oil, which is very inexpensive. You can buy organic. I bought a liquid, and it's not expensive, and it's on Amazon. So, I mean, obviously,
back to what you were saying about the knitting while listening to an audiobook or whatever.
Yeah.
That's your brain wave. So a lot of us are stuck in beta all the time. And that's great if you're driving or doing whatever, or high beta, you're about to land an airplane or you're doing surgery. But we kind of get stuck in that. And that's not the brain wave that's best for learning or reading or relaxing, or, theta is where you connect in with the higher realms and the healing, and knowingness has come in. So knitting or anything like that would put you into like a better brainwave state. So then you're just calming those brain waves down, because I think that's what happens to me. I'm just too activated, and it's like I can't just sit here and read this book. Well, also sometimes it's because it's boring.
Yeah. Well, Shannon has pointed out many times that we are so overwhelmed with data and information now.
Yeah.
20 years ago, we weren't. And so we could do one task at a time and fully appreciate it and be able to concentrate on it. But now we are just, it's like everything's flying at us.
Overstimulated.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, I have a niece and nephew that are seniors in high school, and I worry about them because I grew up in a world pre-internet, and this is depressing. We're the last generation that had a childhood with no social media.
Yeah.
People now won't know that, no cell phones. I had my first cell phone. I was an adult.
Yeah.
So
that's
but
true.
They're fine. Humans adapt, and they play outside, and it's okay. I mean, I'm not one of those old fogies that, when we were young, walked to school uphill both ways, coming in, going. It was uphill
through the snow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have kept everyone here for over 2 hours.
I didn't know how long y'all went. Somebody was asking me, how long y'all going to be on there? I have no idea.
Yeah. No,
we just talk forever. It would never end except somebody's dog.
Yeah.
Either Kimberly's dog has to go out.
My dog's barking in the other room.
Is he?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm very
That's how you know your
verbal.
dog
I
tells
love
you.
to communicate. And, I heard this expression years ago, not before I got my jobs, but that's good career advice to figure out what you're good at, what you enjoy doing, and then figure out a way to make money at it. Well, who knew? I've always been verbal. I used to get in trouble in school that I got that mark on my report card, talks too much with others. But it's funny because my best career ended up being for a job where I did public speaking, talking. So yeah.
Well, we're very lucky to have this core group that shows up every week and hangs out with us.
So y'all all kind of know each other now.
Well, and there's a lot of synergy. So we all learn a lot from each other.
Well, I'll start jumping in. When I first found out what you were doing, I had no idea what y'all were doing, but I love it. I don't usually have plans on Friday night. This can be my date night with you guys.
Shauna was going to be here with us, but she has a back injury and it flared up tonight. So I think it ruined her plans too, because she was supposed to hang out with a friend. But she was going to join us. So we'll have you back because she missed the opportunity and wanted to make sure that I told you both hello and thank you. And she sends her love.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. I wish I could. Are you going to Sedona in May next month?
Yeah. We're both.
You both are going. Oh, I wish I could go.
I know.
Well, he'll have more.
I'm sorry. Well, he'll probably have another one in Texas. So
maybe.
Yeah, as long as as long as it's out of our busy wedding cake delivery season, I can do Texas again.
Yeah.
I think we're coming. I think we're gonna try. I'm gonna do my best to make it there at the end of the year. So I'll see you on that journey.
Well, let's do something. Let's plan. I love planning. Whatever, and I can hold 40 people in the up hub. Let's do a thing.
Let's do it.
Are you a manifesting generator too, Jan?
I looked that up and I think I'm both. So what's the most common one so one is the one that's the creator, the ideas, and then one's the doer?
Yeah, there's the generator, manifesting generator, projector.
I think I'm a manifesting generator.
And then the rarest one is what my sister is, but I can't remember.
A reflector.
A reflector.
Yeah.
Andra's a reflector.
I don't know shit, but I remember that one.
Well, some people come up with the ideas and then that's as far as they get. No, I'm a doer. I love putting things together and you manifest
the idea and then you generate it. So I tell people, be careful when you bring up a topic with me because I'm going to turn it into something immediately. Like if you say I want to do this, by the end of that conversation, we'll have the top 10 list of how to actually turn this into something, when it's going to start, where it's going to go, who we're going to network with. Because I love that shit. My brain just I love networking. So that's why I really enjoyed spending time with you when I met you, because I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, we hit it off. We're like right away.
Yeah.
Off and running.
Yeah. So let's do something.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me to do this. I really have enjoyed it. I enjoyed getting to meet all you guys in the chat. Though I could just feel y'all's energy. It's amazing.
Well, we'll have you back. You join us anytime. We're here
every day. I'll start joining y'all in the chat. I'll just jump in, and now that I know about it, I'm kind of stubborn about things. I don't have any notifications on, but I'll remember. I mean, you do it every Friday, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Every Friday, yeah.
Yeah, I can remember that.
In the beginning, it was me, Shannon, and Amber, and then I was able to start getting a guest every week. Yeah. But we have quite a few people that will be returning too.
And I'll mention it to the Lone Star Angelics group that come here on Sunday.
Yeah, yes.
And because not everybody sees it in our Telegram chat, and so we'll.
Oh. Thank you for saying the third. Okay, so I do everyone, if you all want to come to the group activation, it is this Sunday at noon Pacific Standard Time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But it'll be the last one I do on the third Sunday, I'll start doing it on the second Sunday so that it doesn't conflict with yours. So that if your friends want to
that's
join,
nice.
yeah,
I did join you one time and I loved it. It was very, really good. I was in the zone.
Good. I love it. I love it. My friend just told me that she sleeps better for the next few days, and I didn't. That's the first time I heard that, so that made me really happy.
I didn't even know you did things like that. It was really good. Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck is all this? It's me. I don't even know.
You just got to go with it.
Yeah. I received a gift, and it's absolutely to share. So, if anyone's interested, it's this Sunday, and it's on Zoom. And then we have a conscious conversation afterwards. Although I do have a delivery, so I won't. It's not going to go longer than an hour and a half this Sunday, but sometimes it'll go for like 2 hours, depending on, because we're in a bubble chat, so like you can really get in, like your group, you really get into conversations. Astro Lisa just messaged me on Instagram, and it's I gift everyone the link for free the first time. And then if you want to join, it's a monthly thing. But yeah, absolutely. Just message me on Instagram, Queen of Swords for Hire. So, okay. Jan, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And I loved it. Thank you so much.
We didn't even touch what you know so much about. So when we have you back,
I'm just a wealth of useless knowledge.
No, not at all. No, not at all. No, when I met you and we sat, it was you, Tony Rodriguez, Sage, and I, and we all sat at the table in your backyard and had like a 2-hour conversation, and it was so incredible. It was so
you wonderful. Guys, and then Shauna and Rion were here.
Well, and they all woke up. They were asleep at first.
It was just
Barbara.
Like, I could have just done that.
I know.
Forget the event. Let's just all stay here and talk.
Well, that's why I work the events, because I'm the person that takes everybody up on stage. No, I don't go on stage, but I go get all the speakers. So I'm in the green room. So Shannon's going to do it with me this year. I'm in the green room and I have all these incredible conversations with the speakers, which I enjoy more than the content that they're sharing, because I like ask, about experiences and stuff.
Yeah, you're up close and personal. Yep.
Yeah. But okay. Well,
all right.
Thank you, friends.
Bye, everybody.
And we'll see you on Sunday, and then we'll see you next Friday. Everyone message me if you need the link for Sunday. Love you.
Bye, y'all.
We will still be on when this ends. So if you have any questions for Shannon, Jan, we'll still be here for a second. Bye, everybody.
Oh, you want me to stay here for a second? Okay.
We'll be backstage